went through some sanding sponges on this job because those sponges are really fine. And too bad YouTube, I know they have live streaming, but too bad they don't have the feature where you can reach your hand through the screen and feel this, because it would be really smooth. But maybe one day. So right now we sanding sponged all this, or actually John did, and I went around and vacuumed everything behind him. And then what I'm doing now, I'm actually done. I'm going around and just doing one last final overview to see that we didn't miss anything, and we always miss something. So I'll give you an example right here. Try to get this better. So we shot that nail right there, and I just tagged it with a piece of tape so he can come get it. And I just went around the whole area and I found that and I think one other thing, but they're both on this big one, and that's about it. The other two passed inspection first try, so we're good to go now. We're just going to fill in that nail hole, and then since that's such a big job, we'll probably take a lunch break after we fill that nail hole in. After we fill that nail hole in, I'm just going to get suited up and then spray this with the final coat of that Benjamin Moore Advance. So we'll get to it. So I'm getting ready to spray this now, and I'm not going to do any footage of it with the GoPro because basically it's the same as yesterday's video. It's just going to be me spraying in the same pattern and everything. But I'll just show you a few things real quick and answer a few questions that I think came up over this job over the past few days. One question that came up was, shouldn't the drywall have been done first before we did this? Yes, it probably should have, but they didn't work out that way. Actually, the floors were just redone too. I would have actually preferred that this was ripped out before the floors went in, just to protect the floors a little bit more. But that's where we're at now, and whoever does this drywall work around this is just going to have to mask off our stuff. So that wasn't my call. So that's, but I agree that should have been done first. That's for sure. One other thing, people say that this, maybe this is a little overkill with the plastic, but it's definitely not. I mean, especially when you're working in a house where somebody lives, I don't want to pay, $3,000 for someone's dining table. So we just throw a sheet of plastic over it that cost, I bet all this plastic costs, like, probably used a whole box, like a $19 box. So I spend the $20, cover all this stuff, and no, I won't have any work. I could sleep at night. So, and one other thing, we went around, when I masked this off right here, we just went around roughly. We didn't try to get a tight line around this because there's no use. That guy's gonna have to do a lot of patchwork around here. So hopefully, I think he comes in next week, so it won't be like this too much longer. But that's about it. Those were the kind of the questions that came up for this project. I'm gonna get spraying this, and then we're gonna use this camera, the one that we have used from day one. I know the GoPros with the wide angle, some people, it's hard to watch for them, but the GoPro lasts so much longer than these big cameras, lasts like hours, and I can just have it recording. So that's how that's got to be. But yeah, that's it. I got my sprayer equipment ready with the paint. I'm going to go ahead and put my headphones on and spray that, and then we'll come and tear all this stuff down and show you what it looks like. Okay, so that should be it for the painting. I did use I took that extension off because I was testing my fan and I was getting way too many spits, and I just finished, I started doing the job with the smaller, or without the extension. With those extensions, you got to really watch out because you're going to get spits, and you would definitely not want to spit on this. But that's going to be it for the painting, and right now we've got to wait 4 hours. This is a water-based product, So we're gonna wait 4 hours for this to actually dry. It takes several days to really cure, but for us to take this plastic down without, if we touch this plastic on it, we will get it, we might smudge the finish or, just make a dent in it or something like that. So we don't want to mess with that. So we're gonna just hang out here and clean all this stuff up, but that's gonna take 4 hours. And we're not gonna make you wait for that, so we'll just go ahead and cut to that right now. That was pretty cool. All right, let's show you some up close stuff. All right, so this is awesome. We are done with this job. Another one down for the books, and we are really pleased with the way this came out. I'm really happy with this Benjamin Moore Advanced. As you can see with the light hitting this casement that we did, it's a satin sheen. And we really prefer satin over semi-gloss. Those are the two sheens that are used most in finished carpentry. And it's just way more serious. I feel like the semi-gloss is real plasticky looking, especially with some suppliers. Like, Sherwin-Williams is pretty shiny, they're semi-gloss. And Behr for sure is really shiny. So anytime it's up to me, I go satin. Thankfully, all of her trim already here was satin, so we just matched what was here. And just a little recap, we've mostly been showing you this casement right here that I'm standing in, but we did two smaller ones, but the lighting over there wasn't good and we mostly focused on this one. This one, what we did here, we did the exact same thing on those two over there. Just a real quick recap on this. We came in here 4 days ago, this is our 4th day here, and we ripped out all the trim work that was previously installed because it had a lot of errors in it, and then we disposed of that trim work. We built this wall out to pull it away from the existing wall here and to pull it away from the stairs over here because you wouldn't be able to fit a casing in there with how close this opening was. So we brought this in just a little bit, probably like 2 or 3 inches, and then we brought the ceiling part of this down. It was 1.5 inches plus the MDF that's up there was a 1/2 inch. So we did a 2-inch drop here, and that made it for uniformity. And then we had a big stud here that was, or a stud here that was really, really it was warped. So it was out of plumb. So this wall in the original work was really bent. I mean, it was just bent like crazy. And they used MDF, like 1/4 inch MDF. So it totally wrapped around that bend. So when we built our wall, we've just eliminated that bend by mounting it to the framing up there and then into the floor. But that's pretty much it. You can see how long of a process it takes to do this stuff, especially when you're doing the trim work and you're doing the prep and painting. So that is another one down. Well, that's gonna do it for this video and this job. Thanks so much for watching and keeping up with it. Next week, we're gonna be doing a nursery wainscot. There's some expecting parents that are gonna have a baby, so we're gonna go in there, and she's got some really cool designs, but it's gonna be a really simple kind of craftsman style wainscot. So until next week, that's gonna do it for this video, and we'll see y'all next week. Take care. Spring. Whoa.